Okay. Hello, YouTube, and hello, Twitch. I'm going to be playing Frostpunk 2, which is a person who's played Frostpunk 1 is hopefully going to be fairly interesting and fairly fun. Just came out for people who didn't purchase the deluxe version today, so I'm gonna be playing it. I have a couple things from the first couple chapters spoiled because I've watched other YouTubers. But so I know some basic stuff, but otherwise I'm pretty much playing this blind. So I know some basic stuff, like how the mechanics sort of work, but I don't have an optimized way to play it. So I'm going to be learning along with you guys watching me. I'm not necessarily going to turn the difficulty up because I don't necessarily know where the pain points will be in the ways that I'm going to change how I'm going to play it from the people that I've watched people play it. Though I may pause at various points and explain why I'm doing things the way I'm doing it, if for no other reason to spend the time thinking about it myself. So I'm not just doing things because other people have done it and I've seen monkey see, monkey do, but because I'm thinking through why I'm doing it that way. So let's get started. I'm again not gonna turn the difficulty up. I'm gonna leave it on the basic default difficulty. And I'm gonna be quiet when it goes through the starting thing. I do want pause, so we're not gonna inactivate that. So we're just gonna hit start, and I'm gonna mute my mic so I don't talk over the starting video.
Can you hear us? Captain!
Do you hear us?
A generation ago, we fled the crumbling British Empire as the world froze around us. I held New London together. United, we survived 30 years of whiteouts. But the world around us is dead. Empty.
Ripe for taking. The city falls.
Vestas.
Merely surviving is not enough. We have to expand. After all, it's us who survived the end of the world.
Yes. Now what?
So that's the mysterious opening cutscene. Don't necessarily know what is implied. It's sort of showing the captain, which is sort of the character you play in the previous game, right before he dies, in theory, is what's being implied there. And maybe kind of hinting at the fact that maybe he didn't necessarily die a natural death. It's kind of almost implying that maybe he got left out to freeze on purpose, because he's an old, decrepit man at this point. It's been 30 years. But we've got the prologue here, which is going to try to teach us basically the basic mechanics of setting up districts and stuff like that. And I believe I have at least seen one YouTuber actually fail this before. Basically the way you fail this is you have to generate a certain amount of food, stockpile, And if you're not paying attention and recognizing that you can deplete your food sources, you can hit a point where you actually deplete one of your food sources, and you're going like, oh, I'm gonna complete that goal by this date. In 3 or 4 weeks before that date, one or more food sources runs out, and now you're not gonna hit that deadline anymore. So that's what we're gonna do. So we can pause with pause, or pause with spacebar, move around WSD. Let's see, what can we see? So obviously we're going to need some face breaking, or frost breaking. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 regular food sources, and we have the seals down here with 4K food. In practice, we're not going to use up all 4K food. Let me look. Okay. So there might actually be enough food on this to do it without the seals, but it would be very tight to do it without the seals. So obviously the quest is saying, hey, you need to get the oil deposit, which we'll do. We're also going to want that deposit there fairly quickly to get the prefabs that we need. So we'll queue something like that up for the first one. First frost-breaking area. We're also going to want to sneak down like so to get down to that food area. And each one of these frost breakers is costing us, well, temporarily consuming 30 workforce and 30 scraps, or 300 workforce and 30 scraps. Let's see, how much do these districts cost? 60 scraps and 140 prefab. 60 scraps, 140 prefab. Extractor districts cheaper and 50 scraps and 75 or 70 prefab. Okay, so we need to save a little bit for those extractor districts. So that's probably what we'll start. I was potentially tempting, what, we've got 50 scraps. Do I have enough for 2 of those into construction? I do. But no, I'll hold off on more construction or more frost breaking for a moment. And we'll start actually moving, letting these frost breaking happen. So out comes the machines that are doing the frost breaking. Maybe it makes a little bit less sense on the prologue, because in the rest of the campaign they're going to be coming sort of from the city, whereas in this one they kind of appear from nowhere, right? Because we've arrived here to fix this. Where are these machines coming from? But that's one thing. If you sort of get into the meta concept of why you have machines, then it doesn't make as much sense in the prologue. But otherwise, is a fine mechanic, and does make sense when you're on later areas. So it's trying to teach me about scraps. We're generating 22 a week. Okay, so the frost breaking is done, so we can start setting up our districts. We are going to need to set up an oil extraction district. I'm probably going to want to set up a prefab district like so. Do I start setting up the housing districts? I'm thinking about it. We got the prefabs, we got the scraps. Yeah, let's set the first housing district up while we're thinking about it. You know, there's one problem with setting it up there. I want to set 3 up next to the furnace, so we get the saving from the furnace. That's going to be a little bit of a problem when it comes to frost breaking some of this stuff. I suppose I could have frost broke a little differently to make it a little more efficient. Yeah, let's set up one house and we'll see how that goes. And we start going through time and let those build. So we need an extraction district to have the oil, to have the fuel. In this map it's oil, and other maps it can be charcoal or stuff like that. To turn on the generator to warm up the city. Right now we only need 20 heat, but I think you need heat for each district, right? So this extraction district is going to need 20 heat to be warm. This housing district is going to need 20 heat to be warm. I made it cheaper by being next to the generator, but it's still gonna need 20. And this one's gonna need 20, right? Now the and the dreadnought itself demands 20 heat. But makes a little bit of, I think, what was that, food it makes? No, it provides a little bit of shelter. Okay. I believe it exchanges oil to heat at a ratio of 2 to 1, so this one extractor district, which is supposed to be making 6 oil, should be able to provide us like 120 heat by feeding it into the generator. Okay, so we're starting to build up scraps, so I'm going to start frost baking again. Because we got lots of resources we want to get to in some degree of a timely manner. Yeah, let's do something like that. There. Do more frost breaking. Coming off here. To go down that way. Do want to do more frost breaking to get to that second oil. Can I get around? Do that. Do you want to rearrange that? Actually, I can't rearrange that any, so you know what, still do that. I mean, that's all my heat stamps, so I need to be a little bit more conservative on the heat stamps, or I need to come down here to our wanderers and ask them for scraps or trust, or to tighten their belt to reduce their food demand. Right now, where we have no food stockpiled, there's no reason to tell them to save food. But when we're trying to start stockpiling it for one of the later missions, that'll make sense. Oh, I need to unpause it for it to move. So it's telling me, hey, you now have oil, go turn the generator on, which we will do. So generator is on, so it turns, yeah, 1 to 2. So we get 2 heat for every oil. We're making 60 oil, so we're stockpiling oil for now. We have a surplus. All the oil is being supplied. We have a little bit of a shelter shortage. And on this map, apparently we're not allowed to expand the districts. So once we get into Chapter 1, I will be able to actually expand the districts. I'm going to do a little bit more frost breaking before we actually do what it says and build the housing district. This bit of frost break doesn't matter as much, but I'm just going to frost break a little bit more over here. And then I need to save up to build the housing district. So what I'm going to take advantage of the fact is I can probably get an adjacency bonus between the 2 housing districts and the generator, and not just one each way. But to do that, I needed a way to sort of wrap the second one around the first one. And I think the second one will... Yeah, the second one will have us meet our shelter requirements. So we'll stop getting cold, and it'll be time to fully, truly focus on all that food. Okay, so with that, pause it again. Oh, I need 60 scraps, so there's a couple different ways to go about doing this. I'm actually going to shake these guys down for scraps. Because I have no patience. So with those 3 districts, you can see we get the near the generator plus 20 bonus. If we go there and there, we get the plus 20 bonus from being next to the housing district. And if we go there, Actually, I suppose the last one isn't. Oh, no. Is it this one that's get? Wait, yeah. I need to go here. You can see when I don't have it there. This one's saying it's only next to 2, for whatever reason. So I need to go there to get the bonus on both. So we'll do that. So that's the housing district. I don't need the oil yet, so let's get started on food districts. So this is going to cost... Oh, this is going to raise the material demand. It's not a problem right now. Hopefully that's not a problem right now. Yeah, this is going to make Squirrel go up, but I think we can work with Squalor. Yeah, we're gonna build these food districts. Start extracting food. And to be fair, probably over extracting food. That's probably more food extraction than I need. Initially. And there's still 2 more food deposits. There's the whale camp down here. Can we zoom in and see the, or not the whales, the seal camp down here that I'm having seal calling that I had difficulty seeing. So you'll have to trust the game when the game says it's seals and not looking at it, because we can't necessarily zoom in far enough to see seals very well. We're waiting for these to build. And now that the housing district's done, it's telling me to go build food, which is what I'm doing already. And you can probably see now, because I've done what I've done, these housing districts get, from the neighbor bonuses, are basically being warmed to the point where they don't actually need any heating. Which frees us up a lot of surplus heating for heating everything else that we'll need. Yeah, so now that we have the first farming ones done, it's saying, hey, we need to stockpile food, we need to stockpile 14,000 food. Which is something we will need to do, but one of the things we need to do, probably even more than that, is we need to start, not prefabs, I need to actually get some materials going. So how do I want to get materials going? I think we do that. Can I get the other one as well? Yeah. So we do 1 frost breaking to get both of those. We're just going to sort of focus on frost breaking down to what we need to. So I'll need to get to that food at some point. But some point is not necessarily now. Okay, so with those 2 frost breakings going, I should, when those are done, be able to access the materials that I need to stop having material problems. Which I think is increasing squalor. Or should be increasing squalor. Yeah, extremely increased by material scarcity. It's not a problem yet, but it could become a problem. Cold's diminishing because we sorted the... Oh, the food districts have a very high heating requirement. So we have a heating shortage again. That might actually be an argument once I save up enough to get the second oil source going. Yeah, that's maybe an argument to get the second oil source going. What's that gonna cost? 73 capacity scraps. We have that. Yeah, let's not wait for that. Let's get that going so we can keep the heat under control. Apparently hadn't stockpiled very much oil before the food expansion shorted it. So right now you can see, hey, white arrives in 70 weeks. We're gonna have the food stockpiles requirement in 66. It's giving me some suggestions on what I can do to fix the food stockpile. Really, right now, we have... well, you can see we're going to fill it in 66, but this is going to run out in 64, so that's not fast enough. We're actually we don't have enough food yet. We need to actually activate the last, at least one, if not both, of the last food sources to meet the food requirements. So because in Frostpunk 1 we did order, I'm going to say this symbolizes order. Basically, this choice here is if you did order in the first one and you want the city of New London to be order related, it symbolizes order. If you did faith and you want it faith ordered, faith aligned, do faith. If you don't really care which one it is, you can do the last one and it's gonna pick randomly for you. Okay, so the frost breaking is done. I obviously need to get some extraction going to fix the material problem. Yeah, I got the workforce. Okay, so and this is gonna make, it says 20 prefabs. I think it makes more than 20 prefabs because I think we're getting material. We get materials off of these. I have a suspicion I need both of those. Don't need the prefabs right away. And then after that, we probably want to build the food stockpile so we actually have the space to put the food. Yeah, because two food stockpiles would give us the space to put all the food, I think. I think we have a stockpile limit of 1,000 right now. 10,000, yeah. So we need to get it to 40,000, so we need 2 food stockpiles. And then I can do the frost breaking to the last 2 food deposits and activate those, and we should be golden if we do that. So these cost 80 prefabs each. We're making 20 prefabs a week. And you're saying... Oh, you're giving me the early warning that we're running out of prefabs, so... Let's see, I need to get to another prefab source. Your prefab source, so we need to get to you. Lickety split. I guess so. So we'll have to delay getting those food stockpiles set up because we need to get more prefabs before we run out of prefabs, ideally. So there's 80. While we're waiting... Oh, I need 100 workforce. I need some workforce to come back from doing things. I suppose I could temporarily get by turning down oil extraction a bit. Yeah, that'll work. We turn down the oil extraction a bit. I'm not sure if this is actually really reducing our workforce overall, but... So I have to spend 100 workforce working the stockpile is what it was saying? Yeah. But it's going to save us 10% on the neighbor building. The neighboring building consumes 200, so it's basically minus 80. Okay, frost breaking there is done. I suppose if frost breaking there is done and I need 300 for frost breaking, I should probably do the frost baking first. So I have the workforce on hand to frost break. And then the districts which use less workforce, I can have do their thing after I've got broken into all the locations. So it's that frost breaking, and I got one other frost breaking I need to do. And we're getting some people sick. Overall, that's because we've had some disease, probably from food shortage and squalor earlier, that are going away due to surplus in those two. I can turn you back up to keep those workers working. Okay, so that frostbreaking's done. Now I just need to get over to that food source. Okay. And then once that's done, we've got to get the districts built. And we'll probably build the prefab one first. We've got prefabs coming in. So we've got surplus materials. So we can turn this down. Okay, so right about there. That freed up 150 workers. So 150 workers we can set up on the prefab extraction point. So they're telling me, hey, go get those prefabs. You need those prefabs. And I'm like, thanks, I know that already. So we demolish you to get our stuff back because you don't have any prefabs to give us. And again, it's saying we'll meet the food requirements in 53 weeks, except we won't because our food stockpiles run out in 52 weeks. Or the food deposits run out in 52 weeks. So that's what we've got to fix. Is with just the 3 deposits we have right now, we don't have enough food. That might also imply that we might be able to do it with 4, so you might not have to hunt the seals. In hindsight. Suppose that is tempting. To not hunt the seals. Because at some point it's going to tell us, hey, there's the seals down here. And it's going to present the optional of should we or should we not hunt the seals. Okay, so I need... Technically, I think to maximize my output here, I would need 280. But I should also be able to finish it without hunting the seals. So here it's saying, hey, you can have some people suffer a terrible consequence to not have to not fail the mission. Basically, there's a way to make this mission easier than it would otherwise be. But we should be fine without having the people weave in that manner. We should be able to keep everyone alive to some degree. You're still packing up. You're now packed up. There's no more materials there. We now have enough materials that we should be able to set up. Oh, no, it's 140. So we're still waiting for the prefab. 1 more week to set the extraction district up. And here it is, telling us about the seals down there. Hey, there's some seals. You want to go hunt those seals? Okay, so we did need 2 extraction districts to meet the material needs, but we only barely need the second one by the looks of it. So I could have probably shortchanged it a little bit more and got these food districts up faster. Look at the first one going. And I'm gonna speed this one up a little bit, speed up the game a bit, because we're kind of sitting around waiting for the prefabs to come in and or the food to come in. Either way you look at it. Okay, so we have the food in 27 weeks. That food runs out in 41 weeks. So yeah, in theory, we don't have to hunt the seals. Because it's an optional, and it's like got the should you, shouldn't you thing on it, I'm actually going to see if it changes anything in Act 2 if I don't kill those seals. I'm going to leave those seals alive, because I don't think we need to kill those seals. At least not on this difficulty. On higher difficulties, you might need to. You might literally need to on the higher difficulties. Just because your people eat more. So you're 39 weeks, we're done 25 yet, so I think we can get away without hunting the seals. I will still need to set a food stockpile up. Probably makes sense to set it up closer to the one that needs it, or the one that's going to be working the longest at this point. And checking the worker requirement here. So yeah, it is minus 20%, so it's 200 to 180. Okay, so to break this up into YouTube, this is where I'm going to stop this part. So this is where we're going to stop on YouTube. I'm going to obviously there's going to be more. So check back in next day YouTube. It'll probably be the noon. This is probably the noon episodes going forward. So catch you in a bit. Well, catch you in today YouTube, Twitch. I'm not even really going to stop. I'm going to be back.